Greetings all, Raphael X here. Please subscribe to the channel, share this video, click on the like button, notifications, all those clicks, alright? So, without further ado, let's begin as we always do with a prayer. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, Amen. Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Jesus. Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Ave Maria, sede sapientiae, ora pro nobis. All right, we are entrusting ourselves to Our Lady, hoping that she will animate this conversation, right, with the divine grace from her Son and our Savior, Jesus Christ. Okay, so we're going to continue with the Great Reset. The World Economic Forum, interestingly, just came out with a video, which I'm going to post on the bottom. You can check it out. And this video, people are starting to wake up to this Great Reset and see how nefarious it is. Now, the purpose of this video is to kind of calm those fears. And if you check it out, it has like 600 likes and 8,000 dislikes, right? Very interesting. So people are starting to wake up to see how pernicious this is. It is not something that is harmless, if you will. In the video, it's interesting how they say capitalism is dead, right? So we do need a new form of government, essentially communism, though they don't want to use that word, to substitute it. And one of the ways they're going to do this, or one of the principles that they promote, is called solidarity. And I wanted to read something here from the Great Reset. Here's the book. And we're in the macro reset, and under the macro reset, it is societal reset. So right here, COVID-19 is likely to sound the death knell of neoliberalism, right, which is the basis of the free marketism. A corpus of ideas and policies that can loosely be defined as favoring competition over solidarity, right? So there's this view as capitalism is bad. There's this disorder view of solidarity, meaning equality of outcome, which is essentially a Marxist principle, right? Not the equality of opportunity or equality of means, however you want to call it, which signifies that everyone has equal opportunities, right? That's what we should arrive at. That should be the ideal. But equality of outcome talks about that in the effects, everything should be equal. So I don't know if a lot of you remember what happened with the Asians that were suing Harvard, because Harvard wanted to have diversity, right? Not based on merit, but diversity for its own sake. And we're seeing this is essentially what quality of outcome is, that we're not being merit-based, right? We're not going by merit, which many see is an inheritance of white supremacy. Merit, a merit-based system. So instead of, right, we marginalize merit-based system and we have an equality of outcome. Everyone is equal, right? In the outcomes, essentially. So, for example, some people say home ownership is racist, essentially, because there is an inequality of, minorities are less likely to be homeowners than whites, for example. So it's racist. It's not equal. It's unfair. The equality of outcome. And this is what the anti-racist agenda pushes. They push equality of outcome. And this is a Marxist principle. This is a Marxist principle, equality of outcome. But in the end, in Marxism, everyone becomes equally poor, right? Only the rulers become rich, and really, they only live like capitalists. And we're seeing this in the Great Reset also. So we have this few elite, these billionaires, which are telling millionaires how to, right, instill inequality in the world. So it's very contradictory. There's a principle of solidarity according to Catholic teaching. You could check it in the Catechism. Let me give you the number so you can check that out. I think I have it here. It's number 1939, human solidarity. And it's true that because of our nature, our human nature, because we are creatures of God, there is some type of brotherhood. Now, the problem with this is that if we focus merely on that, important the word merely, as does the Great Reset mentality and other naturalistic type of mentalities, that we don't see the transcendence, we don't see the supernatural. So we focus in only on the natural, then it's really reductionist, right? We fall into this material aspect where man is only a body and the only goods that pertain to man are his bodily goods, right? There's nothing that transcends it. There's nothing that's supernatural. We're only on the natural realm, which is associated with materialism ultimately. So it is important to stress, especially as Christians, as Catholic Christians, the redeeming act of Jesus Christ. That yes, we are united as creatures of God, right? We are brothers naturally. There is a human solidarity based on that. But ultimately, human solidarity is culminated in the sacrificial work, right? The redemptive work, the crucifixion, death, and resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. His incarnation, where he took on human nature. He took on one human nature, but in a way, he took on all our human natures, uniting us to God in his very self. So what he is, God-man, is what he does. He essentially unites God and man. So without that redeeming work, we really don't have a firm basis for our unity, our human unity. That's why it's very important to stress that in Christianity. So I know this is controversial, but Christianity is synonymous with civilization, right? You can't really have a profound, deep civilization without Christianizing it, right? And that's what many of the, and I don't want to say conquerors, but those who discover, especially discovering America, they realized in order to civilize, we must Christianize. So they go hand in hand. So yes, solidarity is based on the natural, but not merely the natural. That's important. Not merely the natural. All right. Other things here. So going back to the Great Reset, there'll be a disappearance of low-skill job. I'm going to put also on the bottom another documentary that was promoted by LifeSite News. Very interesting, about an hour, part one, because at the end it says to be continued, about, and this is first-hand information. A lot in the documentary, they have recordings of speakers, especially philosophers, speaking at the World Economic Forum, at the Davos Summit, which they're going to have another one soon. So check out that documentary. Very important. So in the documentary, they talk about what's going to happen in the future. There's going to be a disappearance of low-skilled jobs, right, taken over by automation, technology, robots. And there will be no privacy. And there will be no property. And then they say, we'll be living great, right? As if that is, right, or that is the basis of utopia. So they said that we'll be renting everything. We wouldn't even have a car. You would go outside and you would just call up a car, pretty much like an Uber app. You go out and there'll be self-driving cars that would pick people up. So the human drivers will eventually be banned. We won't own anything. Everything will be rented and brought to us by drones right at our front door, right? So again, this is not a value judgment in the sense I'm condemning all of this, but there is an underlying pernicious reality here, is to take away the individual, right? Take away the human, as we talked in my last video of the philosophy of post-humanism, which stresses the emergence of non-human entities almost taking over the human, right? From postmodernism, which is a critique of the humanities, to post-humanism, which is a critique or a degradation, we can almost say, of the human itself. So check out that link is important. Also, one of the things that is important with the Great Reset is the fate of the US dollar, right? The US dollar will disappear, right? According to, actually, the United States is, with its nationalistic tendency, is really a threat to this new world order. So we're here. On the one hand, managing the economy sensibly, doubters of U.S. dollar dominance point to the inevitable and sharp deterioration of the U.S. fiscal position. In their mind, unsustainable levels of debt will eventually erode confidence in the US dollar. And this could be true, right? We're kind of seeing it now. I was talking to actually one of the Birch Gold Group members, and he told me that out of all the paper money, right, the cash that exists, 1/3 of it was printed last year. 1/3 of the entire cash deposit of the cash that's in circulation out there was made last year. 1/3 of it. So that's, and there's no referent in gold. So it's pretty worrisome. They could just print out money, and eventually that would be to its demise, right? To the US dollar's demise. And we know, many people, sincere, good people, realize that what happens to the United States will happen to the world, right? If the United States goes under, the world goes under. The United States is, without doubt, the best country in the world. But all empires fall, right? I'm actually a first generation immigrant here, and my parents, they're Cuban, and they have more pride in the United States than in Cuba, which is interesting. Some people find that surprising. I actually served in the army. I'm a veteran, to kind of give back to my country because my parents came here with nothing, right? With change in their pocket. And even the other Latin American countries did not want to accept Cubans, or maybe they just accepted Cubans kind of just like passing by. But the United States really, right, had open arms to the fleeing Cubans. So I'm really, grateful for that. So the United States is a great country, and you can see why people from all over the world risk their lives to try to get in here. Right? It's obvious. So it's a great country, and in a sense, because of this free marketism, right? Because of this free marketism, because there's opportunity, right? Because one can live the American dream. It's important. Now, of course, you can live in an extreme free marketism, which the church teaches against, right? The free market should not promote immorality, right? For example, pornography should not be part of the free market, right? Among other immoral things, contraception, right? But a free market does, right? Limited free market in the sense that morality, the government censors or rather takes out, doesn't allow immoral things to be part of the free market. Free marketism does promote individual liberties, does promote individual initiative, entrepreneurship. It's all very important. All right, so we'll stop there. I don't want to do too long, videos that are long that people won't watch. And we'll continue to be continued. This is part 4. Please watch my other videos on the Great Reset and check out the links which I mentioned on the bottom. All right, Rafael X Gonzalez here, and I'm out. Take care and God bless. See you next time.